boys and girls. In today's lesson, the learning target is I can retell a story. So retelling a story is basically putting the story in your own words and telling it again, but in a shorter way. Because if you included every single little teeny tiny detail, you might as well just read the book again. A retell is great when you're trying to explain a book to someone who hasn't read it before. So here we have a picture of a hand because using your 5 fingers is a way to remember all the parts of a retell. We're going to use a jam today to let you explain your thinking about the book that we're going to listen to. Okay, so start with your thumb. On your thumb, remember to begin with the characters. Characters are the people, animals, the people or animals or whatever person or critter the story is about. So, who is the story mostly about? Now, some stories have a few main characters that the story is mostly about, and then they have a whole bunch of extra characters. When you're doing a retell, focus on the most important characters in the story. Next, let's go to our pointer finger and tell about the setting. A setting is where the story takes place. Where does your story mostly happen? Remember, include the big places where the story happens. The next fingers are for beginning, middle, and end, but you could also think of them as problem, events, and solution. So in the beginning of a story, the author introduces the problem. What is the big problem that the characters are going to have to solve in this story? That will be for your middle finger, the beginning of the story and the problem. For your ring finger, we're going to talk about the middle of the story. What are all the important things that happen in the middle? Remember, I said important things because you're not going to tell every single teeny tiny little thing that happens, but you're going to want to get the big important events, the most important stuff. Finally, the end. The end is where that problem that we talked about before gets solved. So, how does the character solve the problem in the story? Tell that when you get to your pinky. Once you've gone through all your fingers, you've done a retell. Okay, so let's talk about today's assignment. The page we've been looking at here, this is the first page of the jam where you're going to do your work. But before you open up this jam, you're going to watch a story from Storyline Online. After you watch the recording of the story where someone is doing a read aloud for you, you're going to come back to this jam and work on the pages. The first page to work on is for characters. Who is in the story? You can use sticky notes, text boxes, or if it makes sense, you can use pictures as well. Remember to tell the important characters in the story. After that, we're going to go to our next finger, the setting. Where does the story happen? So again, using sticky notes, text boxes, or pictures that you insert into your jam, tell us about the setting on this page. Step 3, or finger number 3 on your 5-finger retell. What's the big problem in the story? The problem usually shows up at the beginning, so think about what happens in the beginning of the story. On the next page, we're going to tell the important things that happen in the middle of the story. Remember, just get the big important events. You don't need to tell every single little teeny tiny detail. And finally, the solution. How does the problem get fixed? How does the story end? That goes on the last page of the jam. All right, remember if you need any help with this, you can always come to our meetings. Once more, after you watch this video, click on the other video, which is a read aloud from Storyline Online. Enjoy the story, and then when you're done, come work on this jam to do your 5-finger retell. Tell the characters, the setting, the beginning's problem, the events in the middle, and the ending with the solution. That's all for this video. I'll see you in the next one.